Hello.
Hi.
Coming to you through the electrical impulses of the internet, it's F That Noise. Featuring Mike Burdick, Keith Reeves, Jamie Klein, Pete Melia, and Steve Taylor. It's episode 14 of F That Noise, March 9th, 2020. Welcome to the program, ladies and gentlemen. The topic of this fantastic voyage into insanity is everything you wanted to talk about coronavirus, but we're afraid to get hit at by the woke culture, and also what was the most sick that we've ever fucking been, which we didn't really decide. Is it hangovers or just illness? But
no, illness.
Illness.
All right. So, before we get started,
hangovers take me all night to try to figure that one out.
let's introduce the merry-go-round. Starting in the by the way, we're streaming live on Facebook on our Facebook page, F That Noise. Starting in the bottom right corner, you have Mr. Pete Melia, and going to the go ahead, say hi.
That's a
To the left,
That's a horrid meal.
bottom left corner, Michael Burdick. Steve Taylor, upper left.
Hi, fucker.
And Jamie Klein. and that's the most Klein thing we could possibly do. Yes, thank you for not disappointing. All right, and every week we do our drive of the week. That is a movie line or TV line that is said at exceptional volume and velocity. And this week's drive of the week has a special theme. I will turn it over to Mr. Jamie Klein to introduce it.
All right, we just got word this morning that the great Max von Sydow passed away at the age of 90. Max von Sydow was such a great actor. He was in The Seventh Seal. He was in The Exorcist, Flash Gordon, Dreamscape, Needful Things, Dune. Just a really Strange Brew. Just great, a lot of great movies he was in. So it was hard to find a good drive that Max von Sydow did. He would yell in some of his movies, so there's not really a great drive. So, in homage to Max von Sydow, we're going to give you just a clip from The Exorcist, probably one of the greatest horror films ever made. So here you go.
I cast you out, unclean spirit.
Shove it up your ass.
In the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. Cast you out, unclean spirit.
Shove it up your ass.
In the name, I cast you out, unclean spirit.
Shove it up your ass.
I
And I
cast
think
you out,
it's stealing
unclean
drive.
spirit.
Shove it up your ass.
In the name of spirit.
Shove it up your ass. Shove it up your ass.
In the name of
Shove it up your ass. Shove it up your ass. Shove it up your ass. Shove it up your. Shove it up your. Shove it up your. Shove it up your
in the
ass.
name of our Lord Jesus Christ. Cast you out, unclean spirit.
Shove it up your ass.
In the name of our Lord Jesus Christ.
Oh my God, that's
was
great.
The drive of the week brought to you by Trashman Media. For the latest Blu-ray and DVD reviews, including videos and interviews, check out Trashman Media at www.trashmanmedia.com, as well as on Twitter and Facebook. So, excellent choice, Mr. Klein. Excellent.
Yeah.
I had to do something for Max von Sydow.
He's such a great actor. He was awesome. Little known fact, Minority Report is in my top 10 of favorite movies ever. And Max von Sydow plays a great villain in that movie. I love that movie so much. And so he's got a deep connection. I grew up with Strange Brew, my brothers and I. That was like one of our top movies watching growing up. But then throughout the years with all the other great things he's been in, but then Minority Report was like the real big thing with me.
So I took a screenshot on my phone because I wanted to share it with you. But the IGN Facebook page, this was the headline on the article about his death. Star Wars Skyrim actor Max von Sydow dies at age 90.
What's a video game website?
Yeah,
it's not to mention
just
he's in Force Awakens for all of maybe 5 minutes.
Yes, it's an entertainment website as well.
Yeah,
and those are the two things that you freaking mentioned. I mean, I don't know.
Well, you're gonna mention something that's newer. You're gonna mention something that kids might get. They're not gonna get The Exorcist.
No, fuck
you know.
Fuck off.
Yeah, and only guys our age are gonna get Flash Gordon unless you watched
Ted.
Ted. And even that, they didn't mention Ming the Merciless. They just mentioned Flash and showed what's his face, the lead actor.
Sam Jones.
Sam Jones.
Sam, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I cast you out! Unclean spirit!
Shove it up your ass.
In the name
Actually, it's funny. For years, when I was first getting into watching film, I always got Max von Sydow and Christopher Lee confused.
Oh, really?
They looked very similar. They're both very tall and had similar features, and I would always get them confused when I was little.
I used to get Max von Sydow and Christopher Plummer mixed up sometimes.
Oh, I could see that.
Yeah, there's always those two. And Christopher Plummer's still kicking it. That guy's old as saint
Now,
right now, too.
If you got him confused with Christopher Cross, then we have issues.
Right.
Hey, he's sailing right now.
The worst that you can do is fall in love.
so.
Yeah. So this is how low I am on the spectrum. I never knew who Christopher Lee was until Lord of the Rings, and even then was a stretch.
Come on, Lee.
I know.
Oh, it's blasphemy! You never saw Gremlins 2? Come on.
No,
Jesus
actually,
Christ.
I never did see Gremlins 2.
What?
What?
Fucking
Oh my
great
God!
movie.
You've never seen Gremlins
that's
2?
Gremlins 2,
You
their
never,
first
you never
assignment.
saw Overboard? Jesus Christ!
Inside joke.
Assignment.
All right, we lasted about 3 minutes before an inside joke. Yeah. So
Yeah, it is.
the buzz kids all around the world, in case you've been living in a hole, is coronavirus, and everything's getting canceled, and the NBA has told its teams to be prepared to play in empty stadiums. To which the Atlanta Hawks were like, well, we're good at that. But now I saw this article, and I brought it up right before we went on the air because we were going to talk about coronavirus and illnesses and everything just because why not? And the topic is it okay to make coronavirus memes and jokes? A global outbreak, this is from Wired.com. A global outbreak that has killed thousands of people doesn't seem like a likely source of humor, but the internet can't stop cracking jokes about coronavirus. Since late last year, when China first alerted the world to the novel coronavirus, jokes, puns, and memes about it have been spreading even faster and wider than the virus itself. Well, my take on this is that when you name a virus after a beer, you're asking for trouble.
Shitty beer, too.
You gotta laugh at everything. Just get everything. You gotta find humor in everything, or what's the point of being alive? You know, everything's got to be funny.
Well, I think specifically because everybody not that you can't get sick and that it's not dangerous, but people blow things completely out of proportion, and I think it's important to poke fun at that a little bit to kind of keep that mood light. Because I don't think this is going to be as big a deal as. Just like I know when it's going to rain and the grocery store runs out of canned goods, that's really not a big deal. Like it's just a scare. So you might as well make fun of it.
SARS, Ebola, all those swine flu, the exact same thing happened then. It's like everyone's forgetting that this is just what happens. It's like with a hurricane. They'll blow it out, make it sound like the worst thing ever. And then it'll do some damage, but it doesn't kind of live up to the hype.
Right.
Well, plus, not for nothing, but this is an election year after all, and they do love to pump the fear whenever they get a chance.
Oh, this thing has been politicized to death on both sides.
They said the coronavirus is coming. I gotta get the gloves and soap. I gotta get the gloves and soap. I gotta sing happy birthday while washing my hands for 20 seconds. Whose birthday is it? They said the coronavirus is coming. I gotta get the gloves and soap. Oh my God. Oh my God. Are there germs in here? How do I drive? Oh my God. They said the coronavirus is coming. I gotta get the gloves and the soap. Oh my God.
That's actually a pretty good drive right there.
That was freaking hysterical.
And of course is comedian Vic DiBattista. Yeah, I probably said that name wrong, but anyway.
No, but earlier today, even before you mentioned this laughing at coronavirus, I laughed at something. Do you know the congressman from Florida, Matt Gaetz? Is that his name? I think it's Matt Gaetz. They were signing the bill to give, it was $5.8 billion towards coronavirus. He wore a gas mask to kind of make fun of it. Well, now he's in quarantine for coronavirus.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Oh,
And
I
that
saw
made
he
me
did that.
that
That's
made me laugh my ass off because it's like here he's making fun of it and now he's in quarantine a week later.
sucks.
And once again, I don't want anyone to get sick or die, but I just find the irony in certain things very funny.
Sounds like
I mean, how bad is quarantine? You don't have to work. You're stuck in the house. You got a TV, Blu-ray. Well, I don't see what the problem is right here.
I still have to work. Our plan is we have to work at home, so not even that's going to get me off work.
Wow.
Yeah.
Tell me your computer's infected with the virus.
Yeah. Computer virus.
If you're stuck at home, I just say just jerk it out of you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's best.
I did see this meme that said it had a picture of a cop approaching a driver's side window, and the driver was inside the car and had holding a sign that says, "I have coronavirus." This is a way to get out of the ticket.
Unclean spirit! Shove it up your ass!
That's what the guy should have said to the cop.
That's what I was gonna say. That's perfect for coronavirus right there.
Right.
Oh boy. All right. So so like this group I feel comfortable in saying has what they call gallows humor. Able to make a joke about pretty much anything and everything. And we were talking about this at work the other day. It's like at my funeral I want to put the fun back in funeral. I want clowns and balloons and you know what would make me even happy is if they tip my casket up so I'm kind of angled toward the crowd like vertically, and you guys are all on either side of me and you just roast the shit out of me. Just,
nice.
And then we
your big dead dick is going to hit someone in the face.
Yeah, well,
no, right.
make those jokes,
and then
you can be like,
tip it and you fall right out of the casket. It would be awesome.
I remember. I remember when Keith.
That sounds good. I hope I make it to your funeral, man.
Yeah.
I remember when Keith practiced safe sex. He'd go out in the field and tag all the sheep they kicked.
Oh God, man. Keith, you know damn well Amy's just gonna bury you in the first fairway of Webster East and tell people you left her and went to Vegas or something.
Oh no, that's not gonna be. That's not gonna be a golf.
She'll pocket all the money.
That's not gonna be a golf course for much longer. So it'll be like somebody's backyard soon. So.
Oh, are they getting rid of the East too?
Well, it hasn't been officially announced, but they took it off the green space tax exemption list. So the only way you stay on that.
So is this the official announcement? You're on F That Noise?
Oh yeah, no, I have no knowledge, no official knowledge. I am just reading the tea leaves because why would you?
Wow.
Why would you take yourself off a tax break list unless you were planning on doing the one thing that keeps you from being on that list, and that's developing the property.
Wow.
Yeah.
God, that's sad.
Yeah, it's real fun. Yeah, real fun. So,
all right,
anyway,
so now none of us have the coronavirus
that we know
yet. That we know of.
Today we're also going to talk about what the sickest we've ever been. Not like Jamie had mentioned earlier. Him and I both have had kidney stones. We're talking like a virus, some kind of disease that we've had in our lifetimes.
And not sick like woo, woo! Not like that sick.
Yeah, we're all
mine.
I cast you out! Unclean spirit! Shove it up your ass!
So mine happened back in 1995. And I wonder if Pete remembers this, because Pete, you and I were hanging out a ton during that summer of 95. I got back from driving school in the Marines and I got pneumonia. And I was fucking destroyed. I lost like 20, 25 pounds, something like that.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I've never felt anything like pneumonia. Pneumonia is the worst, most sick. I couldn't get off the bed for like a week. And then I just remember Pete and I going to Charlotte Beach, and I looked like I just crawled out of Auschwitz. Like I was fucking emaciated.
You're all staring wide-eyed at the world again.
Yeah, it was fucking awful.
It was how did you lose all that weight?
Because you couldn't. When you get pneumonia, you can't eat, and you don't move really. All you do is puke, shit, and lay in one spot.
Oh.
And for a solid
you're
week,
shitting in one spot while you're laying there.
Yeah.
Hey, it's your bed. You know?
Yeah.
Right.
I was still at my mom's house. She cleaned up after me.
Oh God, poor mom.
Yeah, right.
But it was nuts, dude. It was absolutely nuts. I've never felt more sick in my entire life than that. I'll never want to have pneumonia ever again. It was fucking worse.
Do you know how you caught it or anything?
No idea. It just like I got back from North Carolina, and it was like a week after I got back, I just started feeling like shit. So I don't know if it was just going from state to state or what, or from all the. It had been like 5 months then of me being away from home in different areas, doing all the training with the military. It just, whatever it was, it just fucking annihilated me. I'll never ever forget that as long as I live.
It's got to be a shock to the system anyway to come back to the world after that. You know?
Oh yeah.
So that might play havoc with your immune system or something.
I don't know. I don't want to ever get that shit
It was
again.
the 90s. The 90s wrecks every havoc. And then
That's right.
I don't know. I had an intestinal virus when I was a kid, like bad. My brother got it 10 times worse, to the point where he looked at my mother and said, "Am I gonna die?" Like it was like he was that sick. And I was like 10, he was like 8, like stuff like that. I got the chicken pox really bad, like freaking big fucking blisters all over my fucking face.
Ooh.
But I can't remember any time that I've like really been ill like Steve did. Steve was.
Yeah, thanks, Keith.
You almost died.
I'm trying to think. I never had pneumonia. I think one of the most sick I ever got was when I lived at the dorms when in college in Chicago, and I got really bad, like a high fever, just chills and sick. But I had no one, no girlfriend, no mom or dad, no one's around. I'm like, fuck, how am I going to deal with this? And I'm in the middle of the city, no insurance. I'm like about 22 years old, 23. I don't know any better. So I remember taking a cab, hailing a cab. This was before Uber kids, and going to the hospital, and they had to put an IV in me and inject me with all these fluids to get fluids back into me. And I just remember freezing and being all cold and shit. It was awful. And hearing like people are coming in with gunshot wounds and, drug-induced comas and all sorts of nasty, shit. And here I am just like, I just have a fever. But to me, it was pretty awful. I hated it. Couldn't stand it. I was sick as a dog, and I didn't know what the hell to do. I was living at the dorms, and who's gonna watch over me?
I tell you, that's the one good thing about being sick, though. I love IVs. I know it's weird.
It is weird.
Fucking love IVs.
That's not healthy.
Really?
Especially when they start pumping morphine into them. It's the best.
That's not healthy, just so you know.
Steve Lugosi.
Fucking right. Right, Jamie, right?
That's for me, that's probably one of the sickest I've ever been.
I had just started in the acting tour where I was going around the country. I might have mentioned this in another podcast, I'm not sure. But we had been down in Florida the first weekend. It was the best. And just like hanging out in the ocean, like if this is what the whole year is going to be like, it's going to be awesome. The next week they throw you up to New Ulm, Minnesota, which is like just a horrible place. I don't recommend it. But the hotel was right behind a slaughterhouse.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So the smell was there. It was just one of those weird weekends. And sometimes you go into these little towns and you're looking for like a place where you can eat. And we happened to go to a Godfather's Pizza.
Oh.
Now, when we
You
were
like The Godfather?
I do. I didn't see Pacino or anything, but it's another story for another time.
Was it like that Italian restaurant in Niagara Falls?
You like
Mamma
Pacino
Mia,
sausage?
Mamas?
Mama Mia's or something like that? What the hell was it?
Jamie, did you have an uncle who worked at the slaughterhouse?
Mama Rose?
Mama Leone's? Mama Leone's or something like that. I don't know.
But
the whole family's been
My grandfather.
But so there was like
family's
this
been
little pizza place is Godfather Pizza, and they had a pizza buffet. And Jamie, used to work at Pizza Hut. We'd go there. They'd have this, they used to have a really good buffet at Pizza Hut. You'd see him coming out all fevered, like refilling the pizzas like every 5 minutes. and you could eat all you wanted. So I go to this Godfather Pizza thinking I'm getting the same experience, like an idiot. And they must have had those same pizzas under the heat lamps for like hours.
Oh, Jesus.
I don't know what happened, but sure enough, I got the worst food poisoning that I've ever gotten in my life.
It wasn't the pizza. It was under a heat lamp. It was hot. It wasn't the pizza.
Oh, it was the pizza. So I'm behind a slaughterhouse, and I have no idea what the bed was like to sleep in because I basically slept on the toilet bowl, just puking the entire night.
Oh,
so that was the worst. A close second isn't technically a virus or anything, but when I was actually going to have, getting to be old as shit, I was going to have a colonoscopy, and the night before is the worst part of it because you have to take this like really thick liquid. Mm-hmm. It's like it preps you for it. You take it like every like half hour or something for like, all day long.
The stuff that cleans you out.
So it's what is it?
The stuff that cleans you out, right?
It cleans you out, but it's like a real. It looks sort of like Gatorade, but it's like thick in syrup, and you have to drink like a whole like big glass full every half hour, and it was so bad. And I say this knowing that my dad died of cancer. It was so bad that it was you almost said, I'd rather get cancer than drink this crap all day long.
Oh my God.
Like it was making me that sick.
Wow.
But those are the two that were where I was the most sick.
Mike, you know which one I thought you were going to say? That one time you had that stomach thing that was going around like, it was when we had just graduated. And I remember you would always constantly throw up. Remember, anywhere we went, you were constantly running outside and puking.
You had something for a while.
Yeah,
I thought you were gonna say that. Like, I still remember you being sick as a dog at Marty's.
Wasn't that like an ulcer or something?
I don't know. Like, I probably had something that I probably should have checked out, but like an idiot didn't. So,
you were young.
I probably had coronavirus.
Oh God!
Don't start
That's
that
not
now.
funny.
Pete, you got anything?
Hi, Pete.
Hi, Pete. Yeah. So, hey. I had to go on the Wayback Machine here, but I was in the way back in Catholic stuff way back in the day. I was staying at St. Paul's Church overnight for something, right? And you had to go through I'm paraphrasing because I can barely remember any of it. You have to go through like a full mass, the whole ceremony, and all this nonsense overnight. Anyways, out of nowhere, I'm feeling fine when I got in there. Out of nowhere, I get this like wicked fever, just comes on with like when 1 hour you don't have it, the next you do, kind of thing. And I'm fading like real fast, just getting sicker and sicker and sicker. And I'm just sweating. I'm going like, oh my God, what is going on here? And then at the same time, I'm thinking, oh, nobody's going to believe me, because first of all, it's me, Sunday school, and I already had a reputation. So I'm going to go up there and go like, oh, I'm sick. I have to leave. They're not going to buy it. So I'm just kind of, I'll just tough it out. I'll just sleep or something, But so about an hour later, I'm so sick I can't even sit up, and I muster all the strength I can, and I tell them, like, I gotta get out of here. Like, I'm so sick. Like, I gotta go home. And they're like, oh, you can't leave. You're here all night. And blah, blah. I'm like, no, hell with it. I'm leaving. So I'm making for the door. I'm stumbling out. And they quick call my parents, tell them I'm coming home. It's January. It's like the middle of winter, and there's this huge storm. I'm stumbling through the storm, like wicked high fever. I'm yelling, Stella, on the way home. I don't know. Like, I make it all the way home, and like, turns out I have like 104 fever, right?
Jesus Christ!
Like, not even sure how I'm on my feet. Like, I stumble upstairs, like, fall into bed, completely hallucinating. Like, the walls are like pulsating strangely, and so is the ceiling, and like, I had to get into like a ice bath and like the whole thing, like to bring the fever down.
Holy
like
shit.
it was, I was absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, that's no joke.
Yeah.
Jesus.
It was pretty bad. Cause couldn't sleep. Like, this fever was just so high. Like, it came down a little bit, but like by all rights, probably should have gone to the hospital. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, you're here still, so.
Yeah.
You
It
survived.
was horrific.
It's all good.
The hallucinating thing wasn't so bad.
I cast you out, unclean spirit. Shove it up your ass.
Yeah.
I tell you what though, I used to never get sick. Like maybe once every 2 years I'd get a cold.
That was me fleeing the church.
Until
right
I
there.
had kids.
That was all over.
And I get sick more
dish.
now than I ever fucking got sick in my entire life. It's insane.
It's because you're surrounded by germs constantly.
And it's like they're fucking cough right in your face. And it's like, fuck, man.
But it's done with
love
love,
them to death, but holy shit, my immune system is just taking a pounding right now.
I knew a girl in New Jersey who
I bet you did.
She had constant abdominal pain, and she'd go to the hospital, and they'd give her painkillers, and they'd give her scans, and they couldn't find anything wrong, blah, blah, blah. Went back and forth until finally, she spiked a fever of 105, and they finally admitted her. And it ended up being her appendix, and when they went and removed it, they said it was the size of her pinky. Like, it was ready to burst because they just couldn't make up their mind. Because what would happen is it would get inflamed, and then they'd give her medicine, which would calm down the inflammation. And when they went and did an MRI or scan or whatever, nothing would show up. So, I have no faith in the medical profession whatsoever.
You know, Keith, I got to say, though, every time you say I knew a girl and she complained of abdominal strain.
Stop.
Yeah.
Stop it.
It's like, what did you do,
Stop
Keith?
it.
You don't have to be a PhD to understand what's going on.
God.
How much of the mushroom did she get?
Stop. Oh, you guys are terrible.
Oh, my God.
These are my friends.
Yes. We're all jealous.
Dear God.
Well, here's the thing. Okay, so, the whole coronavirus. The whole coronavirus. Okay, everyone's all freaking out about it. And I'm fine, being a little bit worried about it. But how about some common fucking sense? I mean, you see these people, these assholes at work, people are coughing and sneezing and shit. They're going up and grabbing food, and there's hand sanitizer. They don't use the hand sanitizer. There's a lot of fucking idiots in the world that just wash your fucking hands. Take some fucking vitamin C. Everyone's just a fucking retard now. It just drives you up the wall. That's my rant.
You just channeled your episode 2, Klein.
I did. I did, yes.
Oh,
There was some high decibel
People
rant
are
right
stupid, though.
They are, though, but it's we have to have the threat of a global pandemic for people to wash their hands.
Right.
Yeah.
I see people in the bathroom. They're taking big shits and everything. They don't wash their hands.
It's fucking gross.
Then they come out and they're sucking their thumb off.
When they turn your
I don't know, Mike. How close are you following them out of the bathroom? that you're watching the first thing they do after they leave the men's room.
Hershey kisses.
Yeah. They come out of the bathroom and they're just licking their fingers clean. They're like, I didn't have chocolate today.
Who the fuck are these people?
Oh,
Everybody
God.
likes their own flavor.
Yeah.
All right, we're at the
Poop.
Yeah. We're at about the 30-minute mark, so
What?
yeah,
Got you.
that'll be
Fellas.
another fantastic episode here of F That Noise. Join us next week on Facebook with the live stream. Hit us up on the socials. F That Noise Podcast at Gmail. All of that. It's a mess now. Oh my God. Oh no. It's over. It's all over.
That's pretty much it.
I cast you out, unclean spirit.
Shove it up your ass.